Hello friends, so today I will be starting a new series on interactive problems. So there are a lot of interactive problems which are coming a lot in these latest competitive programming contests. So interactive problems are those problems in which you have to find out some hidden value or array value or something like that, such that you have to ask some queries with the judge. So the judge is some, you can assume to be a computer, in which the computer has some information and you have to ask different queries to the computer such that you want to get that hidden value out from that computer under those queries limit which is given to you. So in this whole series we will be discussing about 10 to 12 different interactive problems about of various different difficulty level from different platforms, and we will be going through how to solve such type of problems in the competitive programming contest also. So the first problem in this video is very simple. I will be discussing only about the different concepts, how to write down the function such that you can get the value from the judge, and also how to post the value for the judge to evaluate, and how to write down such functions. And later in this series we will be discussing how to find out some pattern to solve such type of problem in the content itself. So first we can understand that we can understand more with a very simple problem, which is like a top simple problem of interactive problems from Codeforces, which is Flamingos of Mystery. So I'll tell you the first problem statement in simple terms, and then we will be discussing about how to approach such type of problem and how what this problem demands from us. So as you can see in this problem, you are given that this is an interactive problem. You have to use flush operation right after printing each line. So why this is required? It's actually required because whenever you print some line, the information stays there, and when you go to the next line you have to flush out the standard output, standard output stream. You have to flush it out such that there is new output which you can print on the screen. So when you output something on the screen, it remains there in the standard output, so you have to flush it out. For example, in C++ you can use the flush standard output function, so this will flush out the standard output. So you can also use this, or you can, if you know that whenever you give a when you go to the next line, if you use double inverted \n like this, it just go to the next line. But if you use end line, then it will also flush out the string. So instead of using flush, you can also use this also, end line. So I will be using this only. You can also use flush, but both of them are easy to use. So as you can see in this problem, what you are actually given here is Mr. Chanak wants to buy a flamingo to accompany his chickens on his farm. Okay, but before going to the pet shop, Mr. Chanak stopped at an animal festival to have fun. Okay, it turns out there is a carnival game with a flamingo as a prize. So there is some flamingo prize out there. So there are n mysterious cages. So there are, as you can see, there are different cages, and each are numbered from 1 till n. Cage I has AI flamingos inside. So every cage has some flamingos inside, and the AI value is up to 10 to the power 3. Now however, the game master keeps the number of flamingos secret. As you can see, this is again secret, and the game master, which is the judge for us, the judge knows whatever value of flamingos are there, but we do not know, and also the judge keep it secret. To win the flamingo, Mr. Chanak must guess the number of flamingos in each cage. So as you can see, now you as a coder or a programmer, you have to find out what are the number of flamingos are there in each case. You have to write down some standard algorithm which can easily interact with the judge. You cannot interact with the judge by manually, but what you can do here is you can write a function which will interact with the judge on your behalf, and write, or what you can say that it will follow some given instructions, such that if you follow those given instructions, you can always reach down to a final answer. You have to write down some algorithm such that if the algorithm interact with the judge, that algorithm can always boil down or come to a particular answer. So as you can see, what Chanik can do, Chanik has n coins. So it means that he has n coins, and each coin can be used to ask what is the total number of flamingos inside the cages L2R inclusive. Now it means that n is the number of coins, which is indirectly giving us the hint that n is the number of queries you can ask, because every coin can be used to find out like what is the number of flamingos in each cage. Also, as you can see, now you might be thinking that okay, you can ask that what is the number of flamingos, because there are n coins and there are n cages. So why not just ask that what is the number of flamingos in each case, like because you have to find out what is the number of flamingos in each cage. Okay, now, and because I have n coins, you can easily just ask the judge what is the flamingo in first cage. It will tell you. The second judge, the second cage, and he will tell you. So it's just like asking what is the number of flamingos in each cage. No, because as you can see, L to R is like you cannot choose L and R to be the same. So as you can see in this problem, you can give the judge or the game master, you can give a segment and he will tell you the sum of that segment. So as you can see now how this type of programs run, in which as you can see you have to ask the judge in some particular format. So it depends on the different problems. We'll discuss about each of the problem, but in this problem you can ask the judge in this format, in which you have to first put a question mark and L2R. L2R is the range for which you want to find out the sum. So it means that there is some hidden array. Okay, you do not know the values. Okay, let's say like the value is, or the hidden array is equal to 6 size. Okay, so 0 1, or just index it from 1 1 2 3 4 5 and 6. So there's a 6 size array, and you have to find out the values of each array, like each block value, without actually like asking the judge directly that value. Okay, so you can ask out some segment that I want to find out the sum of the values, like can you give me the sum of the values between this index, this and this index, or like this segment. So the judge will tell you that okay, the sum of the elements in this index is this value. So you cannot just make the segment sum like the segment equal to 1 length. You have to ensure that the segment length should be greater than 1. So that's the whole problem. Now how you can approach such type of problem? Now you have to first find out that can I form a like I can easily find out if I know the value of some previous block. Like if I know the value of this block, I can easily make a query on this block and I can get the value of this. If I know the value of this block, now I can put a query on this 2 blocks and I can find out the value on this. So if somehow I just find the block value of one block, I just find out the block value of one block, I can use that block value to find out the next value and then the next value, because you can make a set, or like not a set, a segment of size 2 also. I hope you get the point till now. So I just want to get a value of one block. Now as you can see in the problem statement, n is up to 3. Like there are at least 3 blocks in the whole problem. Now what we can easily do in this problem is, if you observe out that you have to just find out the value of 1, and you cannot somehow like you cannot make what you can say, you cannot put a query of size 1. You have to make at least size 2 or more. So if you find out a query of size 3, which is like the array is always greater than or equal to 3. So if you make a query of size 3, then you get the sum of these elements. And then if you find out the query of size this 2, then you can get this, like then what you can get the sum of these 2 elements. Then if you subtract all the sum of all the 3 elements from these 2 elements, then you can get the value of this. I hope you get the point. So then you can say that okay, now I get the first value, I can put I can now iterate over the whole array and get the value of every element. That is wrong, because what you can see, and this is, I have used 2 queries to find the first value answer. Now I will again require n-1 queries to find out all the values, and then you will be short by 1 query. So what you can do here is, if now I have used this, you can also manipulate in the same way. What you can do here is, now if you have used the you have found out the sum of the first 3 elements, and then you find out some of the last 2 elements, like in this, like the second and the third element, then you can again find out the sum of the first and second element, and then because you know the sum of the first 3 elements, you can subtract out the first 2 elements from the whole element of these size of 3, then you can get the third element also. And because if you get the third, like the first and the second element, you know the size of the first 2 elements, then what you can get the size of the middle element also. So then you got the size of the 3 elements in 3 queries. In 3 queries, you get the size of the first, like the value of the first 3 elements, and then because you know the value of this element, now for all the rest of the elements, you just use this value and make a size of 2 elements, get the sum of these 2 elements value, and then find out the next value. So that's the whole concept of interactive problem. You have to just boil down to some smaller problems in which you have to ask the judge in some optimal way such that you can get the value. So as you can see, which I have found out that okay, I have to just boil down the question to finding out what is one element in my whole segment which I want. If I know the one element, I can get the value of the other element, and if I know the value of this element, I can get the value of this other element. So I have to just find out the value of one element. Now because there are always 3 elements in the array, I can find out the first 3 values easily. What you can do, just find out the sum of the first 3 values, then the last 2 values, and then subtract them out to get the first value, then find out the first 2 value sum, and you also know what is the sum of the first 3 elements. So subtract this 2 element sum from the whole element sum, then you will get this element size also, then you know the value of this element and this element, and you know the sum of the whole 3 elements, so you can also get this element out. So now in 3 queries you can get the sum, all of the values of all the 3 elements, and then you can again find out the value of the other elements by just making a segment of size 2. You know the sum of this whole segment, and you know this element, so you can get this element, and then you can continue on. So that's the whole logic for this problem. We will be discussing more problems in the future, so about more on this series. So we will be discussing first see how we will be doing these problems. So what you can do here is, we will always make a interact function. This interact function will interact with the judge. So because as you can see, and also I've used endline as you can see to flush out. And also as you can see, whenever this function is called, the instances are formed, the instances are created, and whenever this function values are used, like whenever this function is over, then everything is deleted out. So that's the whole, like a point in which like creating a function to interact with the judge is better. So what we have done here is, we have to first get the value. What you have done, we have to first get the value of the first 3 elements. So I have made this by an index, by 0th index, but because the value in those are 1 index, that's why whenever I get any I and j value which is used to find out the L value, we have to see out a exclamation mark space and the 2 indexes for which I want to get the sum, and we have to just return out the sum. So this will get the 3 sum, like the sum of the first 3 elements. This will get the sum of the first 2 elements. This will get the sum of the second and third element. Then I will make a vector to store out all the elements. Then this a minus a will get the first element, this will get the third element, and this will give the second element, which I have told you. Then for the rest of the elements, you just make and interact with I minus 1, the previous element, and the current element, and this will give the sum of both of these elements, and you subtract out the sum minus the previous element, you will get the current element. I hope you get the point. And then in the end, you have to output. So whenever, as you can see, you have to output according to the problem statement. So as you can see in this, as you can see in the output, whenever you ask a question, you have to like give the judge in this format question mark and the LNR, and whenever you have found out the answer, you have to output like as a exclamation mark and the array, which is the hidden array. So as you can see, whenever I have found out the answer, I will print out first the exclamation mark and then the whole array, and then we just return out of this function. So I hope you understand the logic and the code part for this problem. Stay tuned for more videos in this series. Ask the next one. Till then, keep coding and bye.